What if I told you there's a war happening right now, one you can't see or hear, but it's powerful enough to change our world in a heartbeat? A battle where the weapons aren't guns or missiles, but lines of computer code and fast keystrokes. Welcome to the hidden cyber battlefield between Iran and Israel, a high-stakes game of cat and mouse happening right under our noses. But here's the surprise. The most important players in this secret war aren't who you might think. Let's rewind over 10 years to a nuclear facility in Natanz, Iran. Engineers were baffled. Machines called centrifuges, essential for enriching uranium, were failing mysteriously. They spun too fast, too slow, or just broke down without warning. After a thorough investigation, they discovered the culprit, a highly advanced computer worm named Stuxnet. Unlike any virus seen before, it was designed not just to steal information, but to cause real physical damage. Many believe it was a secret operation by Israel and the United States to disrupt Iran's nuclear plans. This wasn't just an attack, it was a wake-up call. Iran realized that wars could be fought and lost in cyberspace. So instead of backing down, they decided to gear up for a new kind of battle. Iran began investing heavily in building a cyber army. They didn't just focus on official military units, they tapped into universities and tech communities looking for bright minds with a knack for computers. One interesting story is about a university student who, with just a laptop and internet access, managed to breach several small networks abroad. He wasn't part of any government program, he was just curious and wanted to test his skills. In 2012, a group of Iranian hackers launched a series of cyber attacks against major US banks, causing significant disruptions to online banking services. They called themselves the cyber fighters of Izz ad-Din al-Qassam and claimed they were retaliating against an offensive video posted online. Their actions showed that Iran's cyber capabilities were growing and could reach far beyond their borders. Among Iran's cyber warriors, a group called Charming Kitten, also known as APT-35, became well known. They specialized in tricking people through fake emails and websites to steal sensitive information, a technique known as phishing. They didn't just target governments, they went after journalists, activists, and even ordinary people around the world. In one lesser-known incident, they created a fake conference invitation to lure experts into sharing their personal details. But here's the twist. Many of Iran's most effective hackers weren't official agents. They were independent, unpredictable, and incredibly skilled. Some were motivated by patriotism, others by personal beliefs, and some were just in it for the challenge. This made them even more difficult to track and stop. Meanwhile, Israel, famous for its tech innovation, wasn't sitting idle. They doubled down on Unit 8200, their top cyber intelligence unit similar to the NSA in the US. What's fascinating is that service in Unit 8200 is a common starting point for many Israeli tech entrepreneurs. After their military service, these young minds often go on to found successful cybersecurity companies. Take the story of Nadav Zafrir, who, after serving as the commander of Unit 8200, co-founded Team 8, a cybersecurity think tank and company creation platform. His organization isn't just protecting Israeli interests, but is providing cybersecurity solutions worldwide, influencing how businesses protect themselves from cyber threats. In 2017, Israeli cybersecurity firm Clear Sky discovered and helped neutralize a massive cyber espionage campaign known as Operation Wilted Tulip, which targeted government organizations around the world. Their work prevented sensitive data from falling into the wrong hands and showcased Israel's leading role in global cybersecurity. Israel also understood the value of looking beyond the military for talent. They collaborated with private tech companies and startups, knowing that innovation often comes from unexpected places. Surprisingly, some of their biggest breakthroughs came from everyday people, tech enthusiasts and ethical hackers who wanted to make the digital world safer. As these two nations built up their cyber capabilities, something unexpected happened. Independent hacker groups from around the world started to get involved. Some sided with Iran, others with Israel, and many had their own reasons that had nothing to do with national alliances. For example, Carbanak, a group of hackers from Eastern Europe, began targeting financial institutions globally, including those in Iran and Israel. Their goal wasn't political, they were after money. Their actions added confusion to the cyber battlefield, making it harder for Iran and Israel to focus solely on each other. In another case, activist groups like Anonymous, hackers driven by political or social motives, launched attacks to promote a peace or highlight human rights issues. One such group defaced government websites with messages calling for an end to cyber warfare, hoping to draw attention to the potential dangers of these invisible battles. Here's the big twist. The most influential hackers in this story aren't secret government agents. They're individuals scattered around the world. Security researchers, hobbyists, even teenagers experimenting in their bedrooms. Consider the story of Jenny, an 8-year-old from Finland who found a security flaw in Instagram that allowed him to delete any comment on the platform. Instead of exploiting it, he reported it to Facebook, which owns Instagram, and they rewarded him for his discovery. His actions potentially prevented misuse use of this flaw by those with harmful intentions. With powerful tools and information available online, it's easier than ever for individuals to get involved. Some use their skills for good, like Johnny in our story, fixing security holes before bad guys can exploit them. Others, maybe without realizing it, change the game by sharing code or techniques that help those with harmful intentions. This shift has leveled the playing field. Cyber warfare isn't just for superpowers anymore. It's influenced by lone individuals and small groups driven by personal beliefs, ethics, or just the excitement of the challenge. Sometimes the lines blur even more. There have been instances where Iranian and Israeli hackers found themselves fighting the same cyber criminal groups that threatened both nations. For example, when the global WannaCry ransomware attack hit businesses and hospitals worldwide in 2017, cybersecurity experts from all over, including those from Iran and Israel, worked tirelessly to stop it. In one remarkable case, Israeli cybersecurity firm Check Point shared critical information about a new malware strain affecting systems globally. Their findings helped companies and even governments, possibly including Iran, protect themselves against the threat. This unintended cooperation highlights how cyber threats can unite even those who are otherwise adversaries. Similarly, Iranian cybersecurity experts have contributed to global efforts to combat widespread cyber threat. In the face of common enemies like global ransomware attacks, national borders and political tensions sometimes take a back seat to the greater good. Big tech companies like Microsoft, Google, and others are caught in the middle of this unseen war. They have to act quickly to protect billions of users from threats that can pop up overnight. Did you know that in 2010, Microsoft had to issue an emergency security update because of the Stuxnet worm? It was one of the first times they had to act so swiftly due to a cyber weapon of that scale. Their cybersecurity teams, some of the best in the world, work behind the scenes to keep our digital lives safe, often preventing disasters we'll never hear about. In another instance, Google uncovered a phishing campaign targeting thousands of Gmail users, including government officials, journalists, and activists. They attributed the attack to an Iranian hacker group and took steps to protect their users and alert the public. So, why should you care about this hidden battle? Because in our super connected world, cyber warfare isn't just about distant servers or abstract ideas. It has real effects on our daily lives. Imagine waking up to find that your bank account is inaccessible because of a cyber attack on financial systems. Or consider how hospitals rely on computer networks. A cyber attack could put patients at risk. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack affected thousands of computers across the globe, including healthcare facilities, causing real-world harm. Cyber attacks can also target critical infrastructure like power grids. In 2015, Ukraine experienced a massive blackout caused by a cyber attack, leaving hundreds of thousands without electricity. While not directly related to Iran and Israel, it shows how cyber warfare can impact everyday life. But there's a positive side. Increased awareness of these threats has led to stronger defenses and a collective effort to improve cybersecurity. People are becoming smarter about protecting themselves online, using stronger passwords, and being cautious about suspicious emails. Companies are investing more in securing their digital assets, and governments are starting to take cyber threats more seriously. Cybersecurity has become a growing field with many job opportunities. More people are studying it in school, and there's a push to educate everyone about the basics of staying safe online. Looking ahead, the world of cyber warfare will keep changing. Countries will adapt, strategies will shift, and the lines between attack and defense will blur. And the role of the individual will become even more important. Perhaps we'll see more collaboration between nations to fight common cyber threats. There's already some movement in this direction. International conferences on cybersecurity bring together experts from around the world, including those from countries that may not always get along politically. For example, the Cybersecurity Tech Accord, signed by dozens of global tech companies, aims to protect users and customers from cyber attacks, regardless of where they come from. This kind of cooperation shows that when it comes to cybersecurity, sometimes everyone is on the same side. Maybe the biggest lesson is this: the real power in cyberspace doesn't just belong to governments or big organizations, it belongs to people. A single hacker can cause chaos, but a watchful individual can prevent it. Let's not forget the cybersecurity professionals who work tirelessly to keep us safe. For instance, a security researcher known as Marcus Hutchins, also known by his online handle MalwareTech, discovered a kill switch that stopped the spread of the WannaCry ransomware. His quick thinking and action prevented countless computers from being infected. In another story, a group of volunteers formed an alliance called No More Ransom to combat ransomware attacks. Their efforts helped dismantle networks that could have been used for large-scale cyber attacks and provided decryption tools to victims for free. So, who are the best hackers, Iran or Israel? The answer isn't simple. It's not just about the latest technology or the biggest teams. It's about the countless individuals, both connected to governments and acting on their own, who shape this digital battlefield in unpredictable unpredictable ways. In the end, the most powerful hacker could be anyone, anywhere. It could even be you. As this cyber story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The future of this invisible war depends on many people, not just a few.